Let's start with the assumption that you're a very technical manufacturer of equipment or components or some very technical products in general. With that assumption in mind, the question that I want to discuss is, should you staff chat yourself or should you outsource chat to a team? Well, let's talk about some considerations. Number one, if you are going to try to staff chat yourself with your team is only going to be available during certain business hours. They're going to be limited. And if you have customers in the West Coast or globally, a 24/7 dedicated chat team is going to give you much better results. So that's one consideration, is the time that your team is available versus an outsourced team that can be available 24/7. The next thing to consider is opportunity cost. And what do I mean by that? Well, obviously if you're going to be staffing chat yourself, you're going to be staffing the chat with team members on your end that can answer technical questions. And that is a positive. That's a pro towards staffing it yourself. However, one of my customers used to staff chat themselves with their technical team, and what they found was very frustrating. They found that a lot of the chat conversations would end halfway through. Somebody would leave the chat and stop the chat halfway through, or there'd be tire kickers not really qualified, or there'd be people like vendors trying to sell the company something. So a lot of the time that their highly technical people were spending on the chats were spent with meaningless chats. So an outsourced team is much better suited to waste that time than your highly technically trained internal person. Another consideration is, what if your person gets busy? Your technical person is putting together a proposal based on a quote request that came in. Maybe they're in a meeting, team meeting, or a client meeting. Maybe they get caught on a call that's really important and they cause a delay in response on the website with a chat visitor. And you know the only time that this would happen, if it only happens once, would be with a really, really good potential customer. But you never want that to happen. So having a dedicated outsourced team to proactively engage every visitor and be available within seconds for every visitor is a huge plus, because you do not want to create delays in response to your website visitors by trying to staff it yourself and then having your team get busy. So those are just 3 reasons that we've heard from our customers why it becomes difficult or frustrating to try to staff chat themselves. Now, with all that being said, in some cases, maybe it makes sense to have your team jump into a chat in real time, only in certain situations, topics, or questions. We have that capability. It's called our Involve feature. You can help us with feedback, give us topics or questions or triggers where our team can ask the visitor, would you like us to have a more technical team member jump into this chat? If the visitor says yes, we can ask them if they mind holding for a minute or two, and then your team, who would be on standby and know that they would be on call, they can get an email and text alert sent to them, they can click the link, and they can jump into the chat in real time. Let's say you have 3 people on your team that are kind of on the standby chat team. Whoever clicks the link first jumps into the chat, the others are not allowed in, so that prevents any communication confusion on that level. Our Involve feature is really, really useful if there are certain emergencies or situations where highly technical assistance is needed right then and there. Your team can jump right into the chat in real time and get involved. So the bottom line is this: there's 3 main reasons, probably more, that it makes a lot more sense financially and from a customer experience standpoint to outsource your chat to a 24/7 dedicated human chat team. We'll talk about humans versus chatbots in another video. My name is Nelson Bruton from manufacturingchats.com. Thanks for watching.